live coverage of the Mountain Dew 500 from Hickory, North Carolina.
Hello, everyone. Cousin Kale here at the inaugural Jack Ingram 111 here at Hickory Motor Speedway.
The Z-Max Car Store comes to Hickory Motor Speedway.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Hickory on a beautiful 80-degree Easter Saturday. Mike Joy with Neil Bonnet. Steve Grissom leads them down the green with Earnhardt alongside.
It's a sizzling Saturday night at the Hickory Motor Speedway.
A tricky little dish composed mostly of hard left turns, but with enough straights to eliminate the tourists.
For Glenn Jarrett and Neil Bonnet, Mike Joy congratulating Tommy Houston on a great victory here at his home track, Hickory.
Off turn 2, it's a freight train of late models thundering down the back straightaway of America's most famous short track.
The real key to Hickory is how well you have the car getting up off the corner here. You have to handle well.
On a blustery afternoon in Hickory, North Carolina, you are looking at one of America's most famous short tracks, the birthplace of NASCAR stars. This is the Hickory Motor Speedway.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to America's most famous podcast. I'm Bryson Davis with cousin Kel Weinberger, my play-by-play partner in the Flow Racing booth. What's up, Kel?
Hey, man. Good to be here this week. Pretty exciting weekend this past weekend.
Yeah, we did have a pretty exciting race, and it's good to do this. Always enjoy doing these podcasts. Had some issues in the studio today, so I'm just kind of hanging out with you. I'm over here on the other side of the desk, and we're just gonna see how this goes. So, nonetheless, it's good to be able to come back for another episode. But yeah, we had an exciting race. A little bit of weather came in play, and we didn't get to see the second race for the late models play out or the street stock race, which I thought was going to be pretty good, probably. But overall, solid night of racing. Some entertaining stuff. The weather was good, and just had a good time being there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was one of those things. When we looked at it earlier in the evening, you and I talked like it got a little bit dark, but we looked on the weather radar and didn't see anything at all in the forecast. And get into May, coming into June, those pop up afternoon thunder showers. They'll wreak havoc on a Saturday night short track race for sure. And that just unfortunately, that's kind of where we ended up. We did get a word from track management that, and I'm actually pretty excited about this. I know the street stock guys were probably really disappointed they didn't get the race, but we're going to have twin 25s for the street stocks, and I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah, I am too. I think, anytime we can highlight those guys in that way, we've had races in the past where we've, ran a twin race with the street stocks. I don't know if we've done that with some other series, like the trucks. Wouldn't be afraid to see that happen, or the even give the limited a shot at a twin race. But don't always get to see that with street stocks, and I think they're probably one of the more competitive series that we have. Fans love them because of the nostalgia. You come out onto the track with these old style bodies. The difference in the way that the car looks, it's just an old school thing. And I think that is attractive to a lot of race fans. It's attractive to me as a race fan. I remember the first time watching a street stock race and coming out there. And I've always watched, old races on TV and stuff, and just enjoyed and just always been jealous of anybody that was able to see those races because I never was able to. You know what I'm saying? I can't go to the 79 Daytona 500. I can't go back to Wilkesboro in 86. I can't go to Hickory when Dale Earnhardt and Jeff Gordon was running around the place in the Baby Ruth car. I can't do that. But when the street stocks came out and we saw them qualify, I remember, telling Dad, like, hey, this is pretty cool because you can close your eyes and open them and pretend just for a minute that you're in the 80s at Hickory Motor Speedway. So I love it, and they do a lot of bumping and banging too. They're not afraid of the bump and run. They're all good, respectable racers, but they can use the car when they need to. So I'm excited about that. I'll be looking forward to that probably over the rest of everything that'll be going on.
Yeah, and the way we worked it out, just in case anybody was unfamiliar with the late model guys, it was a one and done. So we did get the first feature in, and that is going to be the way they finished. And we'll get into that just a little bit later on as we get into our first segment here with how everybody qualified and where everybody finished. But, I know those guys were disappointed and get to run twice. I'm sure if anybody, Michael Bumgarner is probably looking for a little bit of redemption there. But, again, we'll get into that a little bit later on.
Yeah, we certainly will when we recap the race. We had a good weekend. Before we get things started, get rolling off here, a couple minutes into the podcast, I want to thank Priority Electric. Greg and the guys, they do a fantastic job. They're the official title sponsor of today's episode of America's Most Famous Podcast. So I want to thank them for coming on board. They have really been good partners of Hickory over the last several years. I know they sponsor Josh Goebel and his truck. So we're just excited about having them on. So it's good to have Greg and his crew come on board with us. And yeah, for all your electrical needs, Priority Electric and Lighting.com. Go check them out. Let's jump right into let's go recap the race. Wherever you would like to start. This has kind of become your. I'm going to let you lead into this because you've got all the stats over there with you. So I'm going to hand this over to you. Take off wherever.
Well, one thing I would like to definitely start off with is a division that I personally really enjoyed watching this weekend. It's their first time this season that they've been to Hickory Motor Speedway, is the Super Stocks. And I'm not going to lie, I wasn't 100% familiar with what the Super Stocks were all about. I noticed it looked, pretty much like a late model or a limited late model. And talked to Kevin Piercy and asked him, I was like, hey, man, what is the deal with these guys for sure? So the cool thing about the Super Stocks, it's a little bit more affordable version of a late model. Same chassis, it's got a few extra rules, but the biggest difference is it's got an 8-inch wide radial. And as you could see, definitely, that right there was the, I guess you said the difference maker. These guys, you can tell, had plenty of straightaway speed, lots of horsepower. But definitely, that's where everybody was struggling, was trying to get through the corners. And man, I know that from our vantage point in the dive bar announcers booth, that a lot of guys just sawing away at the wheel. They was just, especially at a turn 4, come across that bump, it upset the car a little bit. Tristan Barnes was the pole sitter in the Super Stock qualifier. He is from Draper, Virginia, and he qualified on pole with a 16.360, followed by Josh Goebel, Joe White, Kyle Barnes, his brother, Gregory Story, Louis Mullins, and Mike Hatcher were the way those guys qualified. And there wasn't more than about just a few tenths of a second between first and sixth. So that was pretty cool to see such a tight field. And as they went on into the feature race, Tristan Barnes started on the pole, won from the pole. He and Josh Goebel put on a great show between one another, ran side by side and front to back, just everybody, those two guys really trying to figure out how to get past him. Josh Goebel was having a fit, but he was really putting the pressure on Tristan Barnes and was able to come away with a win. Kyle Barnes finished in 3rd. Gregory Story finished in 4th. Mike Hatcher and then Joe White was the one that ended up finishing in 6th place. Gatekeeper, your thoughts, man? I really liked watching those guys.
Yeah, it's always kind of interesting, when somebody new comes to town, when we have a new division come to run. Especially, this is something that I haven't seen anywhere else. I'm sure they've ran somewhere else. They obviously probably have, but I just haven't seen that for myself. And so it's, I don't know, it's interesting to me because for me, it can go one of two ways. Either they adapt well to Hickory, they run good and put on a good show, or they just don't fit in. But I think these guys really fit in well. You mentioned to me, you and I were kind of discussing this during practice and qualifying before things are starting, and you're explaining what you just explained to everybody else is just the car's different. They're running on those radial tires. So everything's a little bit, slick for them. They kind of have a different challenge than these other guys that are running on just, your straight up regular racing tires. But overall, I thought they put on a good show. I enjoyed having them there, and I hope we'll see them some more.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those ones that, don't get to see them a whole lot, but enjoy them. I know the Baby Grands is another one of those that rolls into town. We'll be seeing them in a couple weeks, as well as the Allison Legacy Series. And so some of these guys, they don't get a bunch of credit every week at Hickory, but whenever they come in, they usually put on a great show for the fans.
Yeah, they do. And I think this is, a little bit of change. We're not kicking anybody else out. We're not putting them in there permanently, but it's just something different, something new, something fresh, something for me I'd never seen, something for me to learn. And just me as a fan, I enjoyed that. And like I said, I hope they come back and put on a race just as good as they did on Saturday.
Well, moving right along, the super trucks were next up on deck, and has gotten to be this season one of my favorite divisions. They've put on probably the best show. Don't mind getting a little bit rough and tumble. On the point for the super truck race this past weekend, Michael Bumgarner pulling double duty where he had run the number 88 Hillbilly Hemp Company Silverado, and then followed by Dwayne Cook, Josh Goebel, Ricky Denny, and Tim Dale. Zach Mullins was on the docket, but from what I understand, talking to NASCAR, he had some issues in practice and was not able to start the race. Again, Michael Bumgarner on pole with a 15.095. And the way the everything finished out, Ricky Denny ended up getting a win. Unfortunately, the Michael Bumgarner team ended up with a DQ, failed post-race inspection. So unfortunate for those guys. Michael drove a great race. He was out front pretty much about the whole time. But Ricky Denny started kind of midway in the field, drove his way up front and got himself a win this week. Dwayne Cook got scored in second, and Josh Goebel from Lenore in third, and then Tim Dale finishing in fourth place. So pretty interesting deal. I mean, like I said, I know Michael Bumgarner helping the 88 guys shake it down, and no doubt that still a lot of valuable data was had this weekend for him. But again, Ricky Denny coming away with that win.
Yeah, I didn't know how all that was going to play out. They had obviously Michael during the race, he turned that truck into a dang rocket ship, and obviously you had the post-race situation there, but no, it was cool to see the 88 truck run up front. Be interesting to get to the track on Saturday, find some more details out in the situation. But again, I would say out of all of the divisions that we run at Hickory Motor Speedway, the trucks for me over the past couple of months, I would say are top of the board for me. And that can always change, but I just think with the competitiveness that they have, you can qualify outside of the top 5 in the truck series, and by the end of the race you're up front contending for a win, because it's anybody's race and they qualify within such a small margin. I just think it's just competitive, a lot of talented drivers and good hardworking teams, and a ton of good. It's fun for us because we have a lot of good storylines in that series as well. A lot of good product for us to be using on our Flow broadcast and then on the podcast here. So again, truck series didn't disappoint.
Moving up into the street stocks, as we alluded to earlier, race fans, the street stocks did not get to run their race over the weekend. So we're going to run twin 25s. But one thing I really want to highlight here, we had 4 street stocks in the field this week. John Reynolds with another Lake Norman Cheesecakery Pole Award. But check out the other 2 competitors right behind him in second and third. Trey Buff, 1/1000th of a second off of pole, and look at Steve Smart and the leaps and bounds his team has been able to come up with. 2 1/1000ths of a second, 3 1/1000ths of a second separated him and John Reynolds. So man, it was tight. I was really looking forward to that street stock race. I hope all these guys have a similar performance and speed this weekend. Marshall Sutton, he was a little bit off. I noticed that he was off a little in practice too. Probably a surprise for me, as those guys are usually always pretty dead on. They brought out Old Faithful again this week, brought out the Monte Carlo instead of the Camaro. But again, just kudos to John Reynolds, Trey Buff knocking on that door again of another pole award. And, it's great to see Steve and his guys. I know they've been, I don't want to say struggling because this is their first year in street stocks, but man, the progress that they've made, showing a little extra speed every week, getting closer to being able to contend for pole awards and for wins. So congratulations to them too. So again, just to recap for the street stocks, as far as qualifying was concerned, John Reynolds had the pole, Trey Buff, Steve Smart, and Marshall Sutton were the 4 cars.
Yep, I really hate we weren't able to see that play out, because that was going to be the race of the night probably. Trey Buff is a driver who's very hungry for a win, and just talking with them at the beginning of the race, on pit road, in the pits, just talking about everything that, he had to look forward to. And they've got a lot of momentum. That wind's coming, just wasn't the rain kind of stopped that on Saturday night.
Yeah, I look forward for them to be really competitive this week. And the one thing I know some people even seen some stuff on the internet today about some people not always being excited about twin 40s for the late models, but I think it's really interesting to showcase some of the other classes and groups that we have at Hickory. I'm excited about twin 25s. How many times do you see it that, somebody like, take Marshall Sutton or John Reynolds, somebody really hits the nail on the head for the first, 20, 30 laps. We usually run a 30 or 35 lap feature in street stocks. And you're just like, man, I really wish that they could have ran more.
Yeah, I think it will be cool to see them run twin 25 next week. I think it'll be pretty neat. I think, again, they put on the best show that we have. So that's just going to increase the excitement and give them a little bit of a showcase opportunity, especially on the broadcast and on Flow to, kind of put them out there a little more where the late model guys typically would be. Now they're going to be up there. So I'm excited for that.
Well, and the cool thing you think about, I know Trey Buff, we when we get to talk to him during pre-race and then, the number one qualifier he's had this year, always talks about his tire whisper and how much difference that's made. Something like that really could come into play on that second 25. Let's say that they don't quite hit the number for the first one, and then they're just really able to, on those used tires, they're just really able to really hit on something and get a win. Maybe we see somebody sweep the weekend. That's something we can't say that we've seen in the street stocks where, of course, they get to run twins and somebody's able to get both of them. So I hope that all four of these cars show up. They're really competitive. Hopefully, Cody and maybe a few of the others will show up this week, excited to run twins with us.
Yeah, the interesting thing, they're used to running 30 laps, so you're turning everything into a 50-lap night. I assume, depending on how the schedule comes out, they're going to have an early race and a late race. So the track conditions are going to change. You're going to have almost an entire second race compared to what you're used to typically running, minus 10 laps. So the tire situation, it's going to be a conversation for sure for us. And hey, we're getting plenty of subject matter here. We got plenty of things to talk about on the broadcast. So that is a plus for us and for the fans. So it's exciting.
Well, as we move along to the Paramount Auto Group Limited Late Models, we had round number 6 of the Paramount Kia Big Ten Challenge. And qualifying on the pole, I would dare say a little bit of a surprise. Last year's Big Ten Challenge series winner, Jordan McGregor from Morganton with a 15.324 second pass. Trey Burke qualified on the outside pole. Then young Aiden King, the Lee Falk Racing driver from Farmington, Missouri. Gracie Crocker in the number 78. Billy Jack Lester, Corey Smith, and Justin Perry rounded up our 7-car field in limited late model competition. And the way they finished, well, Aiden King got himself his second win of the season, advancing 2 spots. Trey Burke held strong. He finished in P2. Billy Jack Lester finished in P3. Justin Perry, Corey Smith, and then unfortunately unable to finish, Jordan McGregor. Man, what a heartbreaker for him. They were running really well. Seen on Facebook the next day that they had an issue with I think he said with the brakes, and that caused him not to be able to finish. And just, man, how unfortunate that was for Jordan McGregor to have issues that night.
Yeah, I would say it's not a surprise for me to see Jordan McGregor on the pole. I think it's a surprise to see him there so quickly. I mean, considering the year and the changes that they've had. But, yeah, those guys put together another solid run for qualifying, and you move that into the race. So, again, he was up front running hard. Aiden King was catching him for a couple of laps, the 10th, you have a 10th of a second fall off here, 10th of a second fall off here, another 10th on this lap, and then next thing you know, his second and a half lead has shrunk, and Aiden King is there. Jordan was on the outside, Aiden was on the bottom. Jordan gave him plenty of room going down in turn 1. the same lap he had his incident. So going down in turn number one, he just gave him plenty of room. So you thought, hey, they're racing clean. But then you come back onto the back stretch into turn three, and the car just goes around. So, for me and you in the booth, it's kind of impossible for us to diagnose that as to what's happening in the moment. But, thankfully we have Facebook and social media, and we can go the next day and be able to find out what happened. But it's heartbreaking for them. Those guys work hard. I know he and his crew, and they've got a good thing going for them. Just a little bit of a setback on Saturday.
Well, and it was one of those things, and thankfully Nick and the guys in the production booth got a great shot of that as we were following that. We slowed it down, and you could just see as soon as he entered turn three, it's just, the car just whipped around, and you could just tell something was wrong because they never touched. It was good, clean, hard racing. And, man, you just hate to see it. Thankfully, number one, he was safe. He was able to climb out of the car when the net was down, and they were able to get him out of there. But, the good thing is, didn't look like it tore up a bunch of hardware. I mean, it came to rest and lightly hit the wall on the driver's door. So nothing didn't appear to be terrible. Obviously, we can't diagnose too much. I mean, it may have been a little bit of suspension damage, but overall, not going to have to put clips on the car or, anything crazy like that. So probably if you're going to have an issue that took you out of the race, about as good as it could have ended up, truthfully.
Yeah. You're exactly right. It's unfortunate to see, that couldn't happen to a nicer guy, I don't think, but I just hate to see it. But one of those things. By the way, we have a turn three camera for Flo now, and Nick has brought that thing out there. We sent him all the way over there when it started raining because he had to go recover it. So kudos to him. A little bit of a shout out because he got a workout in. But that was one of the,
that is right. I mean,
I know.
I know he's been super excited about adding that to the broadcast, and man, it just gives a whole new dynamic to what the folks are able to see at home.
Well, it shows the curvature of the back straightaway because people think it's straight. It's not. It's turn. That's turn three all the way from the entire back straightaway. But then when we had that incident with Jordan, we were able to see up close, a different angle, and you're just adding all these pieces. It just enhances the broadcast. So it's really cool to have that. Unfortunate race for Jordan, but for Aiden, able to get his second win. And as you said, once you get one, the wins keep coming. So congratulations to him and Lee Falk Racing.
Well, as we move along with our coverage here tonight, we'll go to the Leapfrog Landscaping late models, and a new person atop the pole qualifying record with a fast time. I mean, I know we didn't have a large amount of late models this week. Crowd was a little bit light, but they were still fast and very competitive. Blaine Harrison, 14.816 seconds, getting his first second pole award of the season. Michael Bumgarner, just a tick off, not much, 14.830. And then Billy Snodgrass stepping up to late model, doing a fantastic job in his number 99. And then Michael Klein, the second MKM driver at Hickory this weekend, was in the field. He qualified in P4, just a little bit off of pace. And, we finished in the same fashion as we qualified, but kudos to Blaine Harrison. Michael Bumgarner gave that young man a fit. First time Blaine Harrison has won in a late model at Hickory Motor Speedway, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, in your post-race interview. First time he's won in a late model in the state of North Carolina. So that's pretty cool. Birthplace of the NASCAR stars, still kicking them out some first-time winners. And Michael Bumgarner still finishing in a strong P2. Again, him and his team, they were on their game this weekend, just not quite where they needed to be in order to advance that position just a little bit. And, of course, Billy Snodgrass, he ran right up on – he put a lot of pressure on Bumgarner for a lot of laps. A couple cautions in this one. And then, of course, Michael Klein, he had a little bit of a rough day this past weekend. He had one caution where he spun out, looked like by himself. They're just trying to get that car geared up a little bit, get just a little bit better. And I have no thoughts that they won't be able to do it. So, again, great, strong, only 4 cars, but all 4 cars were on point. And like I say, the first 3, those guys were really putting the pressure on one another.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta say, it was a good, entertaining race, but it was kind of a heartbreaker for Michael Klein and them. But again, it's another situation just like we had in the limiteds with Jordan. You bring Michael into the late models, and he just didn't have a good day. But for Blaine Harrison, we talked about it on the last show. It's always cool. Something I love to do is be a part of a driver's first win, and just to be down there in the interview. Like, I didn't win anything, I didn't do anything, but I still get something out of that, of like being in that moment with them guys. And it was pretty cool. Started the day on the pole, and he was confident. Had a fast car. He's the only Ford in the field, so he made Ford company look good. Ford Motor Company, that is. But just a good day for him. They were fast, and I would say the best car and the best driver all day collectively win the race.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and it's good to see, those guys. It's one thing to get a pole award, and we can see week after week it is certainly something very different to be able to put the weekend together. Go out there, run for 30, 40, 50 laps or more, and be able to get things going your way. I mean, not getting caught up in somebody else's mess, not getting, not doing something your own self, spinning out or running through some oil, or there's a million ways to lose a race, but only one way to win, and that's to finish first.
That's exactly right. And look, I'm happy for him. Love to see a good driver get something done. By the way, I think he's graduating high school. Blaine, that is. I heard the ladies in the women's club, they always do a lot for the drivers and folks at the racetrack whenever special occasions, birthdays, whatever, graduation especially. They gave me a graduation gift. I'm very grateful that they did. They take care of everybody well, and they sent me with the task of finding out who was going to be graduating. I know Debbie is going to be watching, and so I failed because I didn't catch that Blaine was graduating. And then somebody told me, and so. After the race was over, when the rain started coming down, I said, I got to take this back over there to the track. So I ran it over there for him and gave it to Blaine. So congratulations to him graduating and winning races now in North Carolina. Winning a race in North Carolina is one thing, but winning it at Hickory is completely different. And so that's a big deal. I'm sure he's still, feeling pretty good about it.
When the lights shine bright on a race night at Hickory Motor Speedway, there's one name powering the action, and that's Priority Electric. Whether it's your home business or your favorite short track, Priority Electric delivers top-tier service with the speed and precision of a championship crew. They're proud supporters of local racing and the legends of tomorrow. Priority Electric, they're charging up the community one connection at a time. You can call them today at 828-525-0216 or visit PriorityElectricandLighting.com and let Priority Electric light up your next project.
Well, race fans, as we recap the weekend again, this coming weekend going to be pretty awesome at Hickory Motor Speedway. We're going to have twin 25s for the street stocks. That's going to be something new on the docket. And it's going to be, and I'm pretty excited about this because it kind of reminds me a little bit old school. We're going to have a 100-lap late model race. Now, I don't know how many confirmed entries we have already, but we are told that got a little bit more interest than we have had just because of the longer race. Some guys are getting geared up for the Cars Tour race. It's going to be a pretty big deal coming in there in a few months. The throwback race, I'm personally really excited about that. That's going to be one that I don't get to commentate for, but I'm certainly going to watch. And so this week, 100 laps, it'll be our first 100-lap race of the season. Be a couple other big ones coming later in the year. Of course, we got the Jack Ingram, which will be the next big race that we have at Hickory, one of our crown jewel events. And then we'll have the Bobby Isaac and the Fall Brawl, just to name a few. So we've got racing season's about halfway done, but we're still kicking it at Hickory Motor Speedway. Still got a lot of great things coming down the pipe here.
Yeah, it's exciting. I have been on social media today, and that is a dangerous place for someone like me to be sometimes, because I a lot of times get frustrated at the things people say, because there's a lot of experts when it comes to certain things, and a lot of those experts are not experts, if you know what I'm saying.
Everybody gets to be a keyboard warrior when they want to be.
It's true, and look, I've been that way, but what I would say, there are a lot of people saying, well, Hickory's dead, Hickory's gone, the racing is no good. You've got this many cars for a race. Well, what are you doing? What are we going to do? They need to do this and that and that. There's only so many people that are in that position to make a change. And I think what a lot of people don't understand is that I don't feel like Hickory is putting on bad racing because it is. It's putting on good racing. And I would just say to all of the keyboard warriors who I have read through today and, rolled my eyes and sighed at and scoffed at and just thought they just really don't know. I encourage you to come out to Hickory Motor Speedway next week to watch a 100-lap race, because what you're going to see is good, tough competition, a historic surface. It's rough. It is so rough. You and I have both drove out there. It's not freshly paved. There are some areas that drivers can go, and it feels just like a freshly repaved road because it's just smooth as can be. And some drivers like that, sure, but some drivers like to be challenged a little bit. And you come to Hickory Motor Speedway, there's you're going to have some character in the asphalt, and it takes a good driver. It takes a dang good driver to win at Hickory, especially in a 100-lap race like we're going to have. I encourage you, if you're a driver and you're watching this, I say, why wouldn't you come? Why would you not want to make the trip down there? I mean, would you agree with this? I think, it's going to be competitive.
It's going to be competitive, and it's one of those things. Truthfully, Hickory has always been one of those places. It's a driver's track, right? It's banked at 2 different degrees. You've got 12 degrees on one end, 14 degrees on the other. It's very egg-shaped. The back straightaway, once again, as you can see great in our turn 3 cam that we now use on flow. And you see that happen a lot. Out of turn number 2, bad things happen to good drivers, where you're coming up off the corner and you just don't make that same, you're constantly turning left just a little bit. It's not one of those deals where you get to straighten up and get a break back there. And Jason Sherrill used to commentate with me a few years ago. We used to always, and I never really thought much about it till he brought it up, but you get into the summer months at Hickory, anytime you get an ambient temperature above, say 80, 85, call it 90 degrees, as the Macho Man would say, the cream would rise to the top. And you'll see these guys. We had a bunch of them back in a few years ago. They came on like wildfire at the beginning of the season, especially in late model. And you would see them, knock out 2, 3, 4 wins. And then when the summer months got here, when the track got greasy, the track got slick, then you started seeing, now we've got a driver's race. It was not just about who had the best handling car at the beginning. It was who could put the race together. And as well as, they're coming a little bit into conditioning, I think, for the drivers. It's hot in those race cars. You'd see somebody, maybe able to knock out the first 40 laps, in the heat of the day, get a little bit fatigued. And that last 40 laps was a little bit harder versus what maybe you would expect. So I love the long races at Hickory. It's one of my favorite times. It kind of reminds me of, as some people like to say, good old short track Saturday night racing. Where you get those guys, they're all lined up and they're in there, they're strapping their belts, they're pulling it tight, and you're going to see, even if it's not driver fatigue, you're going to see tire fatigue. At the end of 100 laps, who's your racing rubber? Spent, done, out of here. And who is going to have a little bit more tire left at the end?
Yeah, I agree with you. Like I said, look, I've put my 2 cents out there, said what I had to say, but it shouldn't be a controversial issue, but all I wanted people to know is that, Hickory puts on a great race, and if you hadn't been in a while, I encourage you to come out. And I'll personally shake your hand and show you around, because I do believe in Hickory Motor Speedway, and I think that it's the best short track in the area. And I'm not going to, sit here and use our platform to hate on any other racing facilities that are, around us. We live in a great location. You and I have talked about it. A lot of great racetracks with a lot of history in our area. And it's not our job to put any of them down. It's our job to really promote racing in general, because, when we work for the common good of racing, when we all come together, compromise a little bit, that brings us up. The short tracks are the foundation of the sport, and I think if the short tracks succeed and we work together to make sure that all the short tracks are succeeding, the entire industry will succeed. And so that's why I challenge you. Make your way to Hickory Motor Speedway. You're a driver, you're a team, come out. It's competitive, it's tough, but there's nothing like saying that you've won at America's most famous short track.
That's right. So many people have, as we talked to it, Blaine Harrison, again, his first win. Aiden King, he just got his second win. The young man was ecstatic the first weekend that he won. Josh Goebel, a couple weeks ago, first win ever there in a super truck. Again, it's a driver's place. I know that the asphalt on that place is rough. It's old. It's we like to say it's got a lot of character, and it sure does. It's told a lot of stories. Last paved in 1992. And you can actually go back and watch that first race after it was paved on YouTube. It's pretty cool. You go watch the Busch race and get a little bit of a history lesson right there. But, it's one of those things. I mean, I like going to all kinds of different tracks. I mean, you even think about North Wilkesboro, one that, the series as well as the Cars Tour. We talked about it on the last episode. And I like seeing different surfaces. I know there's some tracks in the area got some really, really smooth asphalt. Hickory's one of those ones. It's got some bumps and it's got a few, it's got some patches in some places in it, but still puts on great racing. And I like seeing a lot of the other tracks. Bowman Gray just theirs is a little different now. It got repaved a couple years ago. Changes the racing whenever you pave one. Good, bad, or indifferent. Just kind of makes a little different deal. But I'm like yourself. I believe in our sport above all else. I hope all short tracks in our area are able to succeed and do well. But give Hickory Motor Speedway a try. Come see us again. We do. We hadn't really talked about this a whole lot on the podcast, but the bathrooms have been renovated last season. They're very nice. If you're looking for any of the sponsors are looking for a place, Priority Electric, they've already been able to check out the new hospitality suites where they were recently renovated inside as well. And the facility, we're small baby steps. The facility, we're celebrating our 75th year. So the track itself has been around for a minute. And
it's getting old.
It's got a little bit of age to it. Diamond year for us. So, I'm excited for what the future holds. I really hope that we do have a good turnout for the 100 lapper this coming weekend. But I'm excited, man. This year's been good. I've enjoyed calling all the races with you, and it's been a good time.
I've had a lot of fun. We've seen some good racing. We're going to see more on Saturday. Again, if you have any thoughts for the show, drop them in the comments. Reach out to us.
Reach out to both of us. We'll be glad to get back to you and address it on the show.
Yeah, and if you're going to make it to Hickory this weekend, then let us know.
Find us.
And I'm not even kidding. Like, if you got, if you're concerned about something that you're just so passionate about, or you got a thought and you just want to let us know, come find us or let us know some way. And like I said, I'll give you a personal tour and walk you around the place because I believe in it. I believe it's the best short track that there ever was. So, again, make it out to the racetrack this weekend. Support local racing.
Well, race fans, that's going to be all the time we have here. Again, we want to thank our title sponsor for the show tonight, Priority Electric and Lighting. When you need any of your electrical needs met, please give them a call. Short track racing cannot survive without great partners like Priority Electric. America's most famous podcast also thanks them.
That's exactly right. They're Greg and his crew. They do a great job. PriorityElectricandLighting.com. Their website tells you all about everything they do. They will meet your project with the speed and precision of a championship crew, so go check them out. They do a fantastic job. Kel, I want to thank you for doing this again. Thanks for coming on the podcast, spending 45 minutes of your day hanging out, and we'll see you back at the racetrack on Saturday.